Hi everybody, how the heck are you doing? I hope you are well out there. I was just reading a little bit of Timothy and I wanted to put some words together for you in case they were not exactly clear, because sometimes Paul's writings are a little hard to understand, and so sometimes we got to get out with the meat and bones, and we got to spit out the bones and eat the meat, and that's what we're hoping for. And my wife's looking at me like I didn't say that right, which I probably didn't. But this is where the meat and potatoes and the meat and bones are right here. Eat the meat, eat the potatoes, spit out the bones. But this is what Paul is talking about, right? Paul is an astute Torah leader. He is a Pharisee, and to be a Pharisee, that is not a good thing. Pharisees were not law keepers. They were not the ones who were keeping the Torah. They keep the Torah and 25 other books that they call the oral Torah, which inside of that as well, they have a thing called the Kabbalah. And the Kabbalah is where they actually communicate with demons. And when they go off into the Kabbalah and do this thing with the Zohar, it is very evil. So you don't want to be, a Jew when the Jews believe all these other things, which violate Deuteronomy 4:2. So this is what Paul is saying. He says, desiring to be teachers of the Torah, understanding neither what they say, nor whereof they affirm. But we know that the Torah is good if a man conducts himself in it accordance to the Torah. And so that would lead people to go, well, maybe the Torah isn't good. Well, it is good when you conduct yourself in holiness and righteousness and keep the Torah. When you are abiding in the law, statutes, and commands of our Creator, and you're walking not contrary to Him, then He will walk with you. But the problem is, the contrary part of that is you will receive blessings if you're going contrary, or you will receive curses if you're going contrary to what His wishes are. And so that is how it can become bad. The Torah will be used for judgment, and if you are under the judgment of it in an evil way, it's not going to be good for anyone. So continuing on, this is what he says. Knowing this, that the law is not made for a righteous man, but for the wicked and disobedient, for the unholy and for sinners, for them without Yahuah and profane, for murderers of fathers and murderers of mothers, for manslayers, for whoremongers, for them that defile themselves with mankind, for menstealers, for liars, for perjured persons, and if there be any other thing that is contrary to sound doctrine. So if we look at, that's a lot of words, but if we look at the bottom thing where it says sound doctrine, the only place that you would find sound doctrine is inside the Torah. If anything ever goes outside of the Torah, it is not sound doctrine. And a lot of people will say, well, all the other things in the New Testament are from Yah. And like one of our, it was one subscriber of ours, he mentioned that, when Paul and the rest of them talk, they don't say in the name of God, or God has said it that we are sent to say, right? It's not like the prophets. They were out there and they were witnessing to people, and people wrote stories about them, or they wrote stories or whatever. But it's different. These guys were always preaching sound doctrine, regardless of how it comes across when people are writing these letters. They kept the laws. They kept the feasts. Paul was always, he was on his way to feasts, right? He kept the laws of Yah. So to free yourself from the laws of our Creator over a doctrine that is incorrect, that is called non-sound doctrine. So that is it with Paul on this, and this is what he says. And you got to keep the meat, spit the bones, and keep the good stuff, because Paul does have good writings, and I do think that properly translated they wouldn't say what they say, or if they do, I don't believe it is the Paul Sha'al that we know. Have a good day. I'm out.